Good evening, welcome back to the Queensland State Netball Centre. We're here for this HART Sapphire Series match between the QUT Wildcats and the Korean Elite Club's Tigers. We're looking forward to a fantastic match between these two teams tonight. QUT Wildcats are currently sitting second on the ladder and the Korean Elite Club Tigers are in fifth. Tigers are desperately after a win to force their way into the top four with only one more round to go. Tonight I'm joined in commentary by Max in Holzberg. Welcome, Max.
Thanks, Tom. Nice to be here.
We're looking forward to a strong game between both teams tonight. What do you think that the Wildcats are likely to bring to court?
I think they are prepared for a really tough battle because the Tigers aren't going to go down without a fight, and if they win tonight and the outcome of the other games could rearrange that ladder. That's how close the competition is. So Wildcats are prepared for a big, tough battle today.
Yeah, and it's great going into the last round to have such a tight competition. It's been fantastic for the HART Sapphire Series. So would you like to read through the Wildcats team?
Sure. We've got goal shooter Alicia Tihara, goal attack Riley Batcheldor, wing attack Lisa Mai, centre Kisha Grant, wing defence Halida Veve, goal defence Danielle Taylor and goalkeeper Lenora Misa. Our substitutes are Stephanie Bairstow, Eldora Chuala and Rachel Fanana. And our wonderful coach is Paul Stewart.
And the Korean Elite Tigers tonight, goal shooter Amy Somerville, goal attack Alexia Baker, wing attack Alana Schuster, centre Katie Walker, wing defence Claire Haig, goal defence Alana Schuster. Oh, that's interesting. She's playing two positions, so we think we've got a little typo there. Goalkeeper Leah Middleton, the subs are Chanel Gomes, Maddie Grant, Madison Cooley and Lily Gribble. And if we look out at a court,
Lily Gribble made the wing defence.
Yes, it looks like they've made some changes from what they told us earlier. So Lily Gribble starting at wing defence, Leah Middleton at defence and Chanel Gomes as a goalkeeper. Our umpires tonight, Claire Johnson and Rachel Thomas. Both of our umpires recently achieved their A badge, which is a fantastic achievement for umpires.
Yes.
They've been working very hard on that for the last couple of years.
Oh, and already we've got an intercept.
Great distance from Halida Veve.
Yeah.
She times that jump so particularly well, and they intercept the first ball. That's been looking to use that turnover.
So with nice patience getting it into the circle. We've just got to find their rhythm after those first couple of seconds on court, and umpires called it back. The players interpreted the umpire's call.
Yes. The umpire had already made the call before Kesha Grant replayed on the circle edge, so just taking a little time to get the players to hear the call and to reset.
So that's a great pickup already in the first section of the game by the Wildcats, which is what they want to just keep building on now.
They've been quite patient in attack, so wanting to create that space to take advantage of having their tall shooter Alicia Tahara underneath the ring.
Yep, nice little pop in by Lisa. Now we're back to a Tigers centre pass, and the pressure from the Cats is pretty amazing actually. Every player came out covering all their options. So they're not going to give up this position on the ladder without a tough game today.
Absolutely. Just the Tigers, they're pushing the pass a little too far into the space on that occasion. They'll be wanting to continue to work hard to come towards the ball and get some clear passes happening.
Beautiful vision by Riley Batcheldor there. Straight into Alicia.
Riley's
nice goal already.
Yeah, Riley's one of our young up-and-coming players. She's in the under-17 Queensland team this year, and she certainly had a great season in the HART Sapphire season.
Nice communication there by Riley, pointing so Alicia knew to pass the ball out, that she wasn't in the right space.
Yeah, Riley has a really high release on her shot. On that occasion, not quite dropping, but Alicia with great body position to affect the rebound.
So good patience there by Tigers. no options. They're all shut down. So Katie used the smarts, I call it, the smarts in the game to reset it up and open it up again and keep those defenders moving. Oh, offside call.
Yeah, Keisha Grant working really hard to try and cut that ball off, just needing to have a little more control around the circle edge, stay in play.
Another penalty.
Amy Somerville also with a really high release on her pass, just not quite falling for the first one. Both teams will be looking to continue to lift their goal shooting percentages. Great defence from Lily Gribble. It's a mismatch between those two players at the moment in height.
Just shows you how effective a good wing defence can be. So the Cats and Tigers today both have good wing defences, both had hands over, both kept their distance, and have both got ball for their team. So many people underrate that wing defence position.
Absolutely. Lexi Baker doing a great job in her movement then, just to pull the defenders away from Amy Somerville and open her up at the post. It'll be interesting, that battle between Lisa Maimai, who's one of our under-19 state players, and Lily Gribble, who's one of the under-17 state players. Lisa's speed and agility against Lily's height.
Yes, and they've probably both had that exposure to that next level to not be suckered into a play from somebody. Sometimes in the younger ones, they just catch, release and go without using their smarts.
Absolutely.
That's obviously my key word, the smarts.
Yes. So Wildcats had just pushed the lead out a little in this game in their first 5 minutes. They're leading 5-2.
Nice patience there, moving that around.
It was good work though from the Tigers in that they forced Keisha Grant to feed long, and we know that
Take a risk.
While Alicia Tahara is a great target, if you continually feed from off the circle, the defenders at some point are going to start to pick off the intercepts.
That's for sure. So, again, a good shooter with a great hold is so hard to defend. The pressure needs to come from the outside feed, which is exactly what Tigers are doing right now. Unfortunately, she jumped in a little bit on her 3 feet.
Good work from Leah Middleton to really contest that ball in the air, being able to keep her body nice and straight, so the umpire deeming it to be a contest.
And that is goal.
Wildcats would be quite happy with this start, I'd imagine, pushing the score out 7-2, although just not quite connecting on that pass.
Yep, taking it with one hand possibly. So when you've got somebody riding on your back the whole way, you've got to take it with the 2 hands and pull it in. Nothing's a given.
Interesting in that...
Oops, and again, one hand.
Yes. Perhaps the umpire not quite seeing the last turnover that had come off Wildcats, but it is now back with the Tigers, that ball being forced into the defence.
Good pressure there by the Wildcats, keeping them blocked in the centre third. And nice drive there.
Lexi just not quite able to control the end of it.
Yes.
It's that challenge when you're on a hard drive of being able to stop on a dime.
Oh, yeah.
Tigers will be looking to be a little bit more settled in attack and use this opportunity to claw another goal back.
It's like, they tend to be dropping a little bit away from the ball rather than cutting and doing a preliminary and coming forward.
Yeah.
That could be the great defence by the Wildcats, not giving them an option to be able to get into that position.
Yeah, fantastic goal there from Amy Somerville, under lots of pressure from the two Wildcats defences in Dan Taylor and Lenora Missler. As we know, Lenora is so mobile with what she's doing.
A bit of a communication glitch there between Riley and Keisha.
It's that challenge when a player turns their back on the ball.
Yes.
As coaches, we want them to keep your head and your eyes up and still be able to see the ball. Wildcats again forcing the turnover. So both teams at the moment really strong in defence, and the team that settles the quickest in attack is going to be able to
and gets that
go
ball
on with
placement. That ball placement has to be perfect. And that was pretty close.
It was.
The defenders would have been very hard to get their hands anywhere near that ball. Oh, great tip there. Good challenge by Riley. 2 hands, took the whole body forward, which gave it just that little bit of an extra length to the ball.
Yeah. Looks like the Tigers in attack at the moment have only got one lead, or sometimes not really even a full lead that's happening. So as a coach, you'd want them just to actually start looking at having 2 strong leads to the ball so that they've got a few more options and they're not feeling quite so stressed in their attack end.
Yes, they sort of look like they're waiting for somebody to make that first move when instead of knowing who should be making the move. Yeah.
So much more definite in their attack on that approach to the circle. They'll be wanting to be able to finish it off.
Yeah. I think it's mainly from the centre third getting across that transverse.
Yeah.
Once they're in the circle, they seem a lot more decisive and stronger. Just got to finish off those goals.
Good rebound there from Amy Somerville. Able to take that.
Nice drive
shot
out. Oh, very deep there. There's a bit of a risk.
Leah Middleton doing a good job of actually having a go at that ball. Anything when it's deep in the corner into that pocket, you want your goal defence or goalkeeper to have a go at attacking it. Being able to read the cues as to when to go. Wildcats just continuing to push the lead out, 11-5 in this quarter with just over 5 minutes to go. Good clearing ball.
Yes. Big strong ball. Sometimes those long balls that travel across the whole court are a risk. Especially when you've got somebody that can hunt it down.
Yeah. In coaching terms, we like to talk about that as outside channel to outside channel.
That's right, yeah.
That, those are the ones that you want your defenders having eyes up and looking to be able to read to pick off.
And I think maybe contact. As you said, both teams are really putting on that area defence and then floating back to the man on as well.
Yeah.
Very tightly contested in that transition coming from the back end to the front in both directions.
Strong leap over the ball from Lenora, just probably putting Lexi off there for a moment. Great rebounding position to then be able to pull it in.
Once again, great hands by Halida in the wing defence position. And she did a great drive and options weren't coming forward quick enough for her. So nice balance, held that up. Good patience there by Wildcats. And Shane.
Not quite reading the placement of that particular pass. Chanel Gomes was doing a great job of staying between Alicia and the ball. So it's always that challenge to, even when you've got a tall shooter, to be able to put that pass in with pinpoint accuracy.
That's right.
Katie Walker doing a lot of directing as she does on court, letting people know who's free.
It's really easy to give that direction when you're on all thirds of the court. She can see it as it's coming down. Okay, so let's just see if our communication's a bit better there in the Wildcats section. Yes.
Leah Middleton continuing to do a great job in getting her hands on ball. Alicia on that occasion really lucky that the ball came back off the post to her. Once she has the ball, she's very accurate underneath the post.
And here we go. The Tigers are starting to edge forward.
They are. They've just been able to pull back a few goals. Got a couple of turnovers, and we know that the score can change so quickly in the game of netball. Wildcats just holding on at the moment, 12-9. With 3 minutes to go, this is when both teams will be looking to use some of their experience.
I feel that maybe Wildcats came out strong and thought, okay, that was easy, and maybe possibly backed off a fraction, not meaning to, but just.
I tend to feel like I liken to a chess match. That the Wildcats came out and worked really hard and were getting some good flow in attack. Tigers not quite. It looks like Tigers now in their attacking end have got more than one lead to balls, that they're timing the drives a little more effectively and feeding their circles. So attacking-wise, it's coming together, and both teams have been strong in defence from the beginning.
And now we have a missed goal by the Tigers, Alexia Baker, and Wildcats now have possession, and we're, nice transition there. It's so clean and tidy. Again, the transverse line, getting it across. So both teams have really strong defence ends that know how to put the pressure on.
Yes.
On every movement, it's so important that every single player does their job. And all you need is one person that just drops their head for a moment or That was a nice little tricky move.
Katie working really hard. The pass was probably meant for Lily. Went past her, and Katie just trying to catch it between her knees. She is very talented, perhaps on that occasion not quite coming off. The Wildcats have done a great job of putting pressure on the Tigers, which forced that turnover. And so this time around, they'll be looking to see if they can get their attack moving more fluidly. And
yes. Yep. Stepping call. Umpire got that one.
It's interesting because I feel like both teams are either going down the sideline or they're really swinging the ball from side to side, not really using the middle channel a great deal at the moment, or that middle corridor of the court.
Yeah. Cats have just used it just now, but I agree. Prior to that, they tend to be going to the far side and running deep into the pocket.
Yep.
As a defender or an opposition coach, we love that because you block them there and then you shut down their opportunities. Absolutely. So I think that they should start opening up and using the balance the court, use all three channels.
Wildcats just in this last minute wanting to sink this goal to push out to a 5-goal lead. Thereafter, every bonus point that they can earn in these games. As we said, there's such a tight battle for finals at this point in time.
Oh, lovely vision there.
Yeah.
Great vision by Elisa Moimai.
Just able to catch Chanel Gomes in two minds between coming off the body and staying on. She just was non-ball side, which opened up the post for Alicia, and great placement made that effective.
So now we've got Tigers being worked really hard by the Wildcats defence, and there's the pass. Oh, great elevation there, Bo.
Unfortunately, just that shot on the buzzer not quite going through. So it's been a very interesting first quarter between both teams.
Seesaw, really? Up and down. And that's hard work. That takes a lot of fitness. And if that's the first quarter, it's going to be a big game.
Absolutely. So we go into the first break with the QUT Wildcats leading 15 to the Carina Leagues Club Tigers 9. We'll look forward to you joining us again for the second quarter shortly. Welcome back to the Queensland State Netball Centre for this match in the HART Sapphire series between the QUT Wildcats and the Carina Leagues Club Tigers. We have Wildcats sitting in second on the ladder and the Tigers sitting in fifth, both teams fighting for finals positions with only one round to go. Wildcats are pushed out in that first quarter to be leading 15-9. Tigers will be wanting to be more effective in their attacking end in the second quarter. And both teams had strong defensive pressure.
Yep, Tigers will want to really pick up their shooting percentages. They're only down to 60% in their shooting percentages as opposed to the Cats who are on 79% for that last quarter. And we have a bit of a ball fumble there and Cats ended up with the ball.
Halida that was a nice drive, but probably just needed to change the angle. Was driving on an angle that got her a little bit too close to the player, particularly when she had her opponent on her shoulder.
That's right, and that's not going to instill confidence in the delivery of the ball to her.
And by the time that she'd finished the drive, she was ending up in a straight line between the thrower, the defender, and then herself. So again, things that she likes to do when she's going for an intercept, but when you're in attack, you want to just change that angle to be free.
And, okay, so you can see there's a lot more balance on the court now with the Wildcats. They must have overheard it.
We did find that in the last game, that there were a few times we were talking about things here in the commentary and the next minute they were doing it. We don't think that they have earpieces in yet. Maybe it's just that as good coaches we can see the things that we'd like them to be doing.
That's right. That was a nice tidy shot there by the Tigers, Amy Somerville.
Lisa Maimai is doing a really good job of driving into a space, taking Lily somewhere and then using her speed and change of direction to get away on the centre pass. It's really great to see wing attacks have some creativity on the line.
Oh, I thought that was overcooked, but Alicia saved that ball.
She has such long arms that they look like they're over the baseline and she's able to pull them back in. Just not able to control the ball around the circle edge at the moment. So Tigers would be looking to see what they can do in attack. And we're just, again, in that situation where Tigers have got no drives to the ball at the moment.
Yep. The goal defence had to just flick off the ball and it was wasted because the goalkeeper wasn't ready. And Wildcats took advantage of that.
It's one of those things with the young players coming through. Probably would like Lily Gribble to have been on the drive down to court. She got probably caught on the outside edge and need her to have cleared that space and then made a drive down into the mid-court to provide that second option.
Back up. That's right.
It is for the young players that challenge at this level of just the intensity of the game of being able to keep offering and keep offering and keep offering.
It's that mental fitness. We all work so much on physical fitness, the mental fitness to keep sensible in our play.
Yes.
Now we've got a little bit of nice.
Lisa Maimai taking on Katie Walker, so that's an interesting battle at this point in time. The youth against the experience.
Never say never.
On that occasion,
will back down.
Lisa probably coming out on top just at that particular moment. But we know Katie will continue to give her all throughout the whole of the game. Really nice first and second phase play on that occasion from the Tigers. Getting their player off the line and then the second phase heading towards the circle edge.
That nice crisp passing exactly to the right space. It's really important.
And we just saw Katie Walker defending Lisa Maimai on that pass and picking up the contact call. So, yes, like we said, that experience. Katie.
So we've got a bit of a wall here happening with the Wildcats in their defensive mode. So now they've got floated back down to one-on-one. Hands over, good hands over, and beautiful.
Yeah.
Great defence, that patience to never give up and keep working on your own player and shutting down their options.
And when you're that person with the ball, the Tigers wing attack, just being able to recognise that actually there were still two players on that shooter and you need to look and have wide vision so that you're picking up the free player.
That's right. Or even turning and going back and resetting it.
Yeah. So the Wildcats were really effective in that defensive play, being able to force that turnover.
Yes, their defensive play is very good. Actually, both teams have really good defensive play.
Smart move then from Amy Somerville, dragging her goalkeeper Lenora Misser out to the circle edge and then dropping back to the post, creating some space for herself.
I think we're at a 5-all draw for this quarter.
Yeah,
so it's even so far. So, and you can see Tigers have figured out they're feeding their own circle and their goals, getting their goals in. So that's a plus for the Tigers. And good patience there by Cats. Reset, come back, open it up.
It was interesting because the Wildcats just kept moving that ball for long enough while, Chanel Gomes had front position on Alicia and Leah Middleton was sitting off at goal defence just enough to make it look like there was some space, and Riley Batchelor did enough movement to draw Chanel forward, opening up the space in front.
That's right.
So it's that constant chess movements of where am I in relation to the ball, how can I actually create some space.
And sometimes it's not about you getting the ball either. It's about opening up the play and setting up your partner to be the receiver of the ball. Too many players in their earlier years, they think that they've got to take every pass, where really it takes all 7 on the court to win. Yeah. All 7 attackers and all 7 in defence.
Leah Middleton is doing a really good job on those occasions when she's caught behind Alicia. She's still being able to go up. She's got really good vertical jump, and then she's contesting the ball in the air cleanly.
Without interfering. She's doing a really good job there.
They're just not able to capitalise on the moment. The ball's often ending up back in Alicia's arms. Good drive up the middle from Amy Somerville to just release the pressure that the Wildcats had built in defence.
So Schuster couldn't get the ball away comfortably there. The 2 defenders had the goal shooters shut down and passed back, but now through that hesitation eventually the Cats picked it off again.
It's that challenge as a wing attack of actually being definite and to take advantage of the fact that you know what you're going to do when your defender doesn't.
Yes.
The turnover comes when you hesitate, you're not quite sure, then your partner who's got the ball is not quite sure what you're going to do.
That's right. And it's the decisiveness as well. So make a decision, stick to it, go.
Yeah.
It's that split-second decision that the wing attack needs to make. Tells everybody else what's happening.
Absolutely. And as defenders, you're really trying to push your attackers into that doubt.
Yeah.
And not quite making a decision.
When you see that wing attack falter, you know you've got that's stage 1 of shutting it down.
Absolutely. So Wildcats are just stepping up the intensity at the moment and pushing the scoreline out to 23-15.
Yep. So we've got Lily Gribble just putting on some great hands over there. So that got that ball from the Wildcats, yet Wildcats have now taken it back.
It's that challenge when you're being pressured by your opponents. Even the simplest passes can become really hard work. And, very rare that a ball goes through Katie Walker's hands. It was probably just that little bit too high for her to pull it in comfortably.
So here we go. What are their options? Oh, nice long feed. Get it out. Clear that ball away. And that was probably a risky pass. The wing attack wasn't in a really good space. So I think the Tigers probably in that attack end could have just communicate a bit more and let them know who else is around.
Yeah. Helena Veve is definitely using her body particularly well. She's moving around her opponent, and Alana Schuster at wing attack is just really not sure what space to use because Helena's shutting down every movement.
Sometimes, even though the wing attack is an attacking player, she needs to get on that defender and defend and protect her space.
Absolutely.
And I think Helena at the moment is in her head and manipulating her, so she's trying to move so much rather than stop, prop, shut her out.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
And then the girls will put the ball to her hands rather than where Helena is.
Yeah. So we've got a tactical timeout called by the Carina Leagues Club's Tigers. It looks like Tracy Booth, their coach, is making a number of changes, just looking to see what they can come up with to counteract the Wildcats, who push the scoreline out to 24-15 at the moment.
I think that the difference between the two teams is Wildcats are taking advantage of their turnovers and scoring on them.
Absolutely.
So Tigers are getting them, but they're just not finishing it off on the goals.
Yes. And it's one of those statistics as coaches that are actually of benefit. We often like to take lots of stats and numbers, but which ones are actually useful? And certainly know that from talking to the SSN coaches during our Get in the Know workshops throughout the seasons, that conversion from turnovers is one of the key ones.
Absolutely. Because if we all had it even Stevens, you'd get a goal every time you have a centre pass.
Absolutely.
The idea is to take your opponents and score from it.
Yes.
So you can have all the greatest intercepts, but if you're not taking advantage by scoring,
yes,
you're not going to win.
And that's that challenge when you do take an intercept of being able to transition into attack really quickly.
That's right, and calm and sensible rather than erratic.
So good pressure then. There's been some changes with the Tigers. Maddie Cooley has come into wing defence. Lily Gribble moving across to goal defence.
We've got a fresh wing attack on court.
Looks like Lily Gray, I think.
Yes, Gray is on her uniform. Lily Gray it is, yes.
So just looking to utilise some speed. It was good approach from the Tigers. Just wanting to finish it off with that final shot. So Maddie Cooley is another one of our young state age athletes. She was in the 17s the previous year and then 19s this year. Able to get her hands to that ball, but not quite able to pull it in on that occasion.
You could see her disappointment there.
Yeah. It's been a really exciting part of the Sapphire Series to see so many of our young players coming through. Great work from Leah Middleton yet again to get her hand in the middle of that. And Lily Gribble able to pick up the ball. So what can the Tigers do in attack on this occasion?
Oh, a great elevation. That was an awesome defence by Nora.
Lenora Misso playing for Samoa at the Netball World Cup this year. Had a fantastic tournament. Came away with the most intercepts of any player at the World Cup.
Yes.
She had an amazing elevation, and we have mentioned it previously. Watching her play against the Sri Lankan shooter who was 7 foot was certainly a sight to behold.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, beautiful. Nice high shot, like you said. Riley has a nice high shot. It's so hard to defend those balls.
Riley hasn't taken a lot of the shots, but she has been doing a lot of work in feeding Alicia Tahara. But give Riley any room and she can
hold her own. That's
more than hold her own. She will take those shots from anywhere in the circle.
So Tigers have given up their centre pass. They pushed that centre pass out too far, so Wildcats need to capitalise on this one again.
Great sweep of the circle then from Riley Batchelor-Dorr. Ball swung to Lisa Maimai in that pocket, and she just did such a great job of sweeping around the top of the circle and using her speed.
Yep, very, very textbook netball. Oh, I thought her foot was on the court. Never mind.
Player does have to have a grounded foot back on the court before they can take possession of the ball. So on that occasion, looks like the umpire said she hadn't quite made it.
So this is Tigers' opportunity to take advantage of this and capitalise. So,
Tigers just all getting caught on the one side of the court. When we're talking to the kids, we talk about overbalancing the boat on one side and how can they spread out.
Yes.
Always a challenge, but it still happens at this level as well.
And sometimes it's the defences that is great defence, pushing you all into a mess.
Yes.
Oh, great tip there.
Good work from Helena to have eyes to that ball. Katie Walker just being strong and
not
holding on to it.
Yep. Nice refeed there. Give the shooter some balance and tidy it up.
Amy Somerville looks like she's found more rhythm in the circle and being able to then refeed and find an easier shot.
Some shooters are better when they shoot whilst they've come from a moving rather than a stationary. And if you watch that from Amy Somerville then, if she can move, turn, shoot, she might be more accurate than if she stops, sets, holds, goes.
Yes.
And I've noticed that in some shooters, you've got to be able to do both.
Yes.
So it might be something that their feeders need to know about so that they can give themselves a refeed and have that fluid motion to do their shot.
Absolutely. The Tigers look like they've just got a little bit more flow in their attack end at the moment, that they are working off one another more effectively.
And another nice shot.
Wildcats are holding their lead at this point in time as we go into the halftime break with 50 seconds to go. They're leading by 8. That was a fantastic move and good vision from Lisa Maimai to notice that Alicia had got herself ball side and opened up to the post.
Okay. Oh, great cover there by Danielle Taylor. She's always a presence.
Yeah, we haven't talked about Dan a great deal in this game today, but she's always works really hard in defence. She's covering a player. She hasn't given Lexi Baker very much room. Lexi's been probably struggling a little bit just with a shot tonight, and part of that is down to Dan's hard work.
Yeah, by the time she gets to the circle, she's tired.
Absolutely.
That tenacity in that defender puts other sorts of pressure on the shooters.
Wildcats will be trying to score in these last dying seconds. But Buzzers is just going to beat them, despite Alicia being able to put that ball through. So we're going into the halftime break with the QUT Wildcats leading 28 to the Carina Leagues Club Tigers 20. And the Wildcats coming away with another bonus point.
Yeah, they'd have to be really happy with that. Though, Tigers are not backing down. They just keep coming back and keep coming back. So I think Wildcats need to be sure that they stay focused on their own game and their own play and not rest on their laurels.
Absolutely, and from a Tigers point of view, they still have plenty of opportunities to turn this ball over, and as we know, 8 goals is 4 turnovers, so if they're able to score off 4 of those turnovers, we get it back onto even pegging.
8 goals is an easy turn around.
Absolutely. So we'll look forward to seeing you back here at the Queensland State Netball Centre on our live stream for the third quarter shortly. Welcome back to the Queensland State Netball Centre for this HART Sapphire Series match between QUT Wildcats and the Carina Leagues Club Tigers. We go into the third quarter with the Wildcats leading 28-20. Just noticing the stats on the screen at the moment.
Very interesting. Look at the turnover conversion. That's what we were speaking about in that second quarter. How important it is. You turn the ball, you get the ball, you've got to make it pay for you.
Absolutely.
And Wildcats are doing that beautifully.
Yeah, so fairly similar in their turnovers, 12-15. However, the Wildcats are converting 80% compared to the Tigers, who are at 58%. So that'd be something that they'd be wanting to look at in this third quarter. Would be give them an opportunity to regain some of this old 8-goal lead and get them back on an even playing field.
So here we go. Remember we said it's only 8 goals the difference. It's still anybody's game.
Tigers just being nice and patient there and using their back players in their goal defence and wing defence to work their way forward.
Tigers have stuck with the same combinations by the look. Any change? No, no changes.
From what we can see, it looks like everyone stayed in combination at this point in time. Tigers just wanting to work the ball around the circle edge so that they get an easier shot. With Lenora having great front position to take that rebound.
Oh, so we had Lisa there backing up her leader on that drive, but it wasn't on. It was too risky. So now, nice little pop in. And Wildcats should convert. So that was the Tigers centre pass. That's exactly what got them the great percentage.
Good hands over from Maddie Cooley. She's working really hard to put pressure on Lisa Maimai and to stay in front as often as she can. Lisa's doing a great job of being able to counteract that at the moment.
Oh, nice pass, nice pass.
You're never quite sure what the intention was with those ones, but I'm sure Alicia will tell us it was a pass.
Yep. So we had one option off the centre pass there.
Yeah, good hands from Dan Taylor, just
tipping that away.
Being able to get her hands in the middle and force the ball out of court.
So we're back to one shooter in the circle. Our goal attack, Alexia Baker, is doing a lot of work out the front.
Yeah, and just at the moment, they're wanting to try and put the ball in high, and we know what a great leap that Lenora has. For me as a coach, I'd be wanting them to work that ball around, use some more fakes on the outside edge, see if you can actually get Nora moving one way and then put the ball in differently. It was fantastic movement then from Amy Somerville just to use her speed.
And again, we have a missed shot and second attempt.
Ball just a bit like a ping pong there for a few moments.
Right. Both the Wildcats, the QUT Wildcat defences are good on the height and that positioning. So I agree. I think if I was reassessing that, and it's easy in the armchair to reassess, I'd be trying to maybe get them working and feeding front rather than dropping that high ball in.
Yeah. Again, that challenge of it at the moment, they really need the drive up the middle, so rather than putting that ball from outside channel to outside channel.
So there you go, with the Tigers throw in and nice strong drive. Maybe Katie should have released that straight away and would have got that ball in easier.
It's that challenge, I think, for me, that shows, you know, the respect that she has for what the Wildcats defences are doing.
Yes, true.
That they've been able to close those spaces down pretty quickly, so both of the Tigers attackers need to have either a good strong hold to set up some clear space for Katie to be able to release that ball.
So that was a bit of a wasted opportunity there by the Wildcats. So Tigers now have possession again, and let's see if they can capitalise this time.
Yeah, and on that occasion, like really working the middle channel, just able to get the timing right and get a ball from one end of the court to the other quite quickly. Just getting caught a little bit around the circle edge. Dan Taylor's starting to come into the game a little bit, getting her hands to balls. I usually feel like once Dan starts to do that, it's not too long before she starts taking clean intercepts.
Yeah, she's very, very smart player and unassuming. You don't think she's going to get there. She does.
Yeah, she's got a really good closing speed. She's another that's got such long arms and able to really pull balls in.
Great rebound there by Lenore. And, oh, great contest. Umpire calls that the wing attack contacted.
So it looks like we have got another change with the rolling subs, with Alana Schuster coming into wing defence. Maddie Cooley going to the bench.
And Tigers score.
So they're staying in touch in this game at the moment. It's 3-3 in the third quarter. The ball has been going backwards and forwards a little.
As Sue Gordian was saying, that was overcooked.
It's that challenge as players to actually measure up how far, what's the distance for this particular pass, what sort of pass do I need to use, and how much speed and weight do I need to put on
That's
to
right, speed and power. And all that's within a millisecule of a second.
Absolutely. The decision-making process is so quick.
Is there such a word as millisecule?
Probably not, but
no, it's a Max word.
It's a new one in our dictionary
That's
today.
right, it's a netball dictionary. Oh, nice feed. Good hold there, nice front hold by Alicia. And that was a really good screen there, holding that defence away so Riley could come through the back door.
Riley took advantage of the fact that Leah Middleton had challenged that ball outside the circle, and she used the baseline really effectively. That was smart. Katie Walker just holding on to the ball for long enough for
one of the girls
Amy
to pop.
Somerville to actually just half move, shake the defender off, and then use the open space.
Okay, whoa.
Leah Middleton wanting to have another go at that ball.
It's actually a common ball. They use it a lot.
Yes.
Keisha runs down into that side pocket.
Yeah.
And
Leah's been watching it.
she'll get one, hopefully.
She will.
Well, for her. I know as a defender how hard it is to go and go and go and you never get one. Oh, beautiful shot.
Fantastic shot from Amy. It's interesting because I actually feel like the defences have been dominating the games in recent weeks.
Yes.
All of the teams have probably struggled a little in attack because the defensive efforts have been so strong.
Oh, yes. Well, this game's a perfect example. The two defence ends are fabulous.
And how our attackers then need to step their game up and still be able to deliver
They've got to work
high
for the
shooting
ball.
percentages, regardless of the pressure that they're under.
Okay,
And in this game, that's one of the differences that we're finding. Tigers just wanting to be able to lift their shooting percentage. Chanel goes back in the game at goal defence.
And Cats score again. So it's 7-5 this 8-5 this quarter. Wildcats are leading at the moment. And
I feel like the Wildcats have probably utilised their younger players the most effectively. Bull Sharks are now starting to grow since they've got Siggy Berger on board and playing in the shooting end. I feel like the Wildcats have really integrated their younger players like Riley Batcheldor and Lisa Maimai, who are playing lots of minutes on court really well this season.
definitely. Well, no, I think a recipe is experience and youth as well.
Absolutely.
Experience comes with lots and lots of things in its favour, but so does youth as well, with that fitness, that that tenacity to never give up.
Sometimes they're quite fearless in what they do on court as well.
They don't overanalyse sometimes.
Yeah. Tigers just clawing 1 or 2 back here at the moment. Great vision.
Good stretch there.
From Lily Gray, being able to see Alexia Baker on the drive into the circle. And Lexi just looks like she's got some confidence back in a shot at the moment, which is great to see.
Tigers are chasing. Tigers are playing really hard. It's now 8-7 for this quarter.
Yeah, and they've just forced another turnover. So we know that we're wanting them to keep working on building up their positive turnover conversions.
So Wildcats need to really stay tight on every single player here. Need to keep that pressure on because Tigers are starting to get confident.
They are.
Nice stretch there by Danielle Taylor. Fabulous rebound. One hand, pull it in.
Yes. It was the timing of that jump from Lenora that got her that rebound on.
And now that transition from the defence end through to attack by the Wildcats was excellent.
Good hassle then from Chanel Gomes on Riley Batchelor, forcing that ball over the baseline.
Nice tip, Alicia.
Chanel Gomes, who played a game for the Australian Diamonds, was playing for the West Coast Fever, had some issues with injury.
Oh dear.
Had to have some major surgery and has then worked her way back into fitness and back on the court. So it's been a fantastic job from her to do so.
And that's hard work. That's really hard work.
It is. So we've got a tactical timeout from the Wildcats. At the moment in this third quarter, we've got the score level at 8-all, although the Wildcats are out 36-28. So both coaches just an opportunity now to reset their teams coming into the final 4 minutes of the quarter.
Definitely. I think Paula, the coach of the Wildcats, will be asking them to, settle, go back to basics, be patient, play our game, don't get caught up in the momentum. You can see that the girls they're not doing anything wrong, but Tigers have just lifted up the ante a little bit, putting the pressure on.
Tigers have just started to find some timing in their attack end.
Yes,
so
I agree.
In finding the timing and the space, and Lexi gaining some confidence with a shot, they've just been able to claw back a couple of those goals at this point in time. So Tigers will want to build on more of that, being able to tweak just a couple of things, working on their patience and just taking a breath when they get a turnover.
Yes, and then finishing it off.
Absolutely.
They've started to do that now, which is why we've got such a tight quarter.
It's such an adrenaline rush when they do take that intercept, and to then be able to settle yourself to
let your teammates know we're in attack now.
Absolutely. And to be able to deliver a good next ball.
Oops. Katie's on the ground, tripped over a player's feet, and yep, the Wildcats are really want this quarter. They're not going to back down without a fight, that's for sure. They're going to stay very, very tight, contest everything.
I'm kind of surprised they didn't stop and wipe the court down because we know that Katie's work rate is really high, and she probably did leave a little sweat on the court.
Yeah. Oh, beautiful ball by Lisa. And that was lucky. It was lucky. I don't know if anyone had absolute possession there.
Yeah. Yeah, it did look like Chanel had come through fairly cleanly on that occasion. It depends on what angle that you're looking at.
I was just about to say that. The umpire would have seen the two hands. We're behind it, so you can't see it the exact same way. But it's another example of you grab it with two hands and you pull it in tight.
Absolutely. And just like we were talking about with the players, making decisions in split seconds, as are the umpires.
Yes.
There's an article that was going around that we've shared on Facebook around umpires make more than 9,000 decisions in a game.
Wow.
Because there's so many elements that they need to take into account for every call that they make.
And one glance, they've got to pick up about 7 different movements.
Absolutely.
In one glance.
And for our young umpires coming through, that's one of the challenges, is to be able to actually identify what are the different pieces of information and what are the relevant ones that I need to be able to determine whether this is within the rules or not.
Yes. And then make the decision to, is it a call or is it just let it go?
Absolutely.
It's very easy to blow the whistle all the time, and that's not necessarily good umpiring. Okay, so we've got Wildcats with possession again. Nice, consistent court work coming through that centre third, and just being very patient and careful in getting it in. Taking no risks now, are we?
Yeah. Chanel doing a good job to get her hands to that ball.
Yep.
And she's probably just hassling Riley Batchelor at the moment. And again, that experience against our young player. But, they just needed to be settled more.
We need options there. Oh, wow. Fancy footwork there. That was a nice, fast little tiptoe through the tulips by Keisha.
It's one of those things that I often talk to young players about, the balance between speed and accuracy.
Yes.
As in, how fast are you going and how do you control it and how do you actually deliver a pass? So for them to be able to learn that process around fast is not always good.
That's right. And sometimes they get caught in the momentum and they don't have that same control.
Absolutely. And we're seeing that happening here at this level as well. Sometimes the ball is just moving at such speed that the players are not quite able to control their body movements.
Well, Tigers are making Wildcats work really hard for this possession.
Yep. So at the moment, Wildcats are ahead in this quarter 11-10 with 30 seconds to go. This will push them out to 12-10. So they'll feel like they've got a bit of breathing space. Tigers will want to be scoring quickly and then try and force a turnover off the Wildcats as well. It's such a battle in these final seconds.
1 goal the difference in this quarter.
Alana Schuster had good, hard defence coming through.
And we've got seconds. Oh, penalty pass or shot? No, umpire let it go. Yep. All right, so we got Wildcats won the quarter by 1 goal.
They did. It was such a close contest.
That's tough. That just shows you both teams, neither one was going to give an inch.
And that's what you're looking for from both teams, to be able to just put fantastic netball out there on the court, to continue working really hard, to challenge one another. The learning's in the challenge.
That's right. And it just shows you that even doesn't matter where you are on that ladder, any team can work hard enough to get back there and chip away at it and possibly make that top 4.
Yeah, and we saw that the Tigers had more flow and better timing in their attack end in that quarter, hence being able to be so close at the end. So we go into the third quarter break with the QUT Wildcats leading 40 to the Carina Lakes Club Tigers 31. We'll look forward to you joining us in the fourth quarter. Good evening and welcome back to Queensland State Netball Centre for this HART Sapphire Series match between the QUT Wildcats and the Carina Leagues Club Tigers. We go into the fourth quarter with the Wildcats leading 40-31. They have taken 3 bonus points but only just won the last quarter by 1 point. We've got a couple of changes coming on in this last quarter.
So, yep, the Wildcats have taken Halida Viva. I always say her name wrong, sorry, Halida, back to goal defence, and they've brought in their Rachel Fanana into wing defence, so I think they might be trying a different defensive style there. Attack end's still the same. What about Tigers? Tigers look the same. No changes there in the Tigers.
Halida started her career as a goal defence goalkeeper. Over time has started to move out and moved out to wing defence and centre. She has amazing vision, reading the game and a good vertical leap, but found particularly at that next level and when she made the Firebirds team a few years ago that she was more suited in the wing defence than centre role. It'll be interesting to see how much pressure she puts on Lexi Baker.
That was excellent pressure by Lenora Misa there over that shot. That was fabulous.
Katie Walker doing as she does and letting the umpire know who the ball came from. She did take a long run down the outside of the court on that occasion. We do know that Katie loves to run, but perhaps that's not quite what she wanted to do in the middle of the game. The Tigers were a little bit slow getting that through there. I don't know if it was necessarily the defensive pressure, more the lack of options coming forward. Yeah, they're just finding, particularly with Rachel coming onto the court, that the Wildcats have been able to clog up all of that middle space, forcing the Tigers players out wide, and they were struggling to find a drive to the ball. Smart setup then from Amy Somerville.
So Cats in possession, and we've got Lisa Maimai struggling to get away there from the Tigers' wing defence. Good defence, blocking her out of that option.
Good middle position then from both Chanel Gomes and Leah Middleton to be able to pull in that particular rebound. It's one of those times where Tigers have got the turnover and are wanting to get the ball effectively into their shooting circle.
So Rachel Fanana has been pulled up for obstruction. I know in the circle defenders, they work so hard to shut down the options of the shooters. Excuse me. Excuse me. The centre and the wing attack, the wing defence going offside or contacting, it just takes so much away from all that hard work you've done.
It releases the pressure at that time, and while both of those circle defenders, outside defenders, are wanting to try and put pressure on, it's that balance between also being disciplined and not giving up the penalty.
Exactly. So now we've got an offside call.
It's interesting, I've noticed that at SSN level, you know, there's so much that happens around the circle edge, and there's times it's like, I'd just like you to be a little bit more disciplined so that the defenders actually get the opportunity
to capitalise on their hard work. Yes. So we have Tigers with another goal.
Tigers are just pulling it back here a little bit. Oh, great work from Leah Middleton. Taking out her teammate Chanel Gomes in the process, but she just had eyes to that ball and timed the movement particularly well.
Nice elevation, but it wasn't effective this time. I think the goal shooter, Alexi, or is it Amy? Amy Somerville has adjusted to Lenora's high jump now.
She has great timing and movement then for the Tigers. They're making a run for it at the moment. They've pulled the score back 41-37.
They're winning the quarter.
For the difference at the moment. And now we've got Wildcats just probably stopping on their moves and not really having multiple options to the ball. Oh, Alana Schuster did a great job in the corner of contesting that ball.
Not sure she agrees with the umpire there.
No, it is that challenge of just then getting on with it.
That's right. So now, Wildcat. Oh.
Leah Middleton coming around the body and able to get her hands to that ball.
And looked like Riley Batcheldor just sort of waited for the call rather than like fight for the ball.
It is that challenge, and we noticed it in the earlier game as well, that a couple of times the players did stop and wait for a call. Can't do that. You've just got to keep going. The umpire will call it back if they're going to make a call.
That's right.
Otherwise, keep going for it. Riley probably just stopped on the drive as well. Needed to take that extra step because at this level, any hesitation.
And, the opposition's got it when they're riding on your back. Yeah.
Halida on that occasion just had great front position as goal defence in the circle.
Read that ball beautifully, yes. And
as soon as the defence is in between the passer and the attacker, the pass has got to be so accurate. It gives the defence an opportunity.
It's looking like the Wildcats are a little bit unsettled here.
Yeah.
You know, they're not playing that nice, sensible, smart game and pulling it back to be their game. They're letting the Tigers into their headspace.
Wildcats are trying to work really hard to hold the Tigers up down the court, but that patience that we were looking for from the Tigers earlier is out there at the moment.
So we've had a swap. So Halida's off and Danielle Taylor's back in. And it looks like Halida's bibbing up.
Looks like she might be putting the centre bib on in the background.
Yep, Keisha is ready to come off.
That's the coach killers when you're like, we've got these opportunities, we just need to sink that ball.
Definitely. Okay, so now we're taking advantage of Halida's control in that mid.
It'll be an interesting contest between her and Katie Walker. They probably match one another with speed. Oh, fantastic jump over the ball from Janelle Gomes. She was able to tip that ball and get the intercept. We saw a couple of those in the earlier game from Bridie Condren. It takes such timing for the defences to be able to do that effectively and legally, being the right distance, etc.
And
really good work from Amy Somerville.
Tigers are winning this quarter.
Yeah. So this is a real contest now. Scoreline's 41-39.
That's a nice pass. Yep.
It seems to have made a difference with Leah Middleton sitting back on Alicia. That path to Alicia is nowhere near as easy at this point in time. Leah is so experienced at being able to work around the body and confuse the space so that the attackers are not really sure where to put the ball.
Okay, so here we go. That nice, well,
fortunately an air ball from Lexi Baker. She was able to get in front to take that ball.
Oh, it's so hard to defend that little drop pass.
It is.
Doesn't matter whether you're front or back.
Yeah, Dan did do a really good job with her feet to move with the shooter and close down the front space, but
well
fingertip control.
That was great vision by Halida to know that it was on.
Absolutely.
The Wildcats need to shut down that triangle feed.
Yes.
Once Tigers get that, they're shooting much better.
And that's one of the things that Tigers were having some issues with earlier in the match. We know that once you get that triangle set up around the circle edge, the feed into the circle becomes so much easier.
Oh, definitely. And to defend it is extremely hard.
Yeah. Means that you can move the ball so much quicker.
This game is becoming played at a frantic pace now.
Yeah.
It's only 3 goals in it. It's very worrying.
So with 5 minutes to go, we have the QUT Wildcats leading 44 to the Carina Leagues Club Tigers 42. Tigers are certainly well in front in this final quarter at this point in time, so they'll be looking to run this game out strongly, and they need a win. They're doing everything that they can to actually get the win.
Few little dramatics there.
Not at all.
Dear. Right. Cats need to turn this over. They need to keep that pressure on.
So, Tigers are one behind with possession at the moment. And Amy just getting herself up off the ground. Ooh.
Wow. That was superhero stuff, I think. Land on court, get the loose ball, pass it off, drive up and take the second pass. That's why she's...
I think we need a replay of that at some point just to see what actually did happen down there. But it's a good turnover from the Wildcats because the Tigers are certainly coming at them hard at the moment.
That's for sure.
Good, strong.
Oh, here we go. And now she's...
Well done. And back on court.
That was amazing. Patience. The Wildcats need patience now, and they need really specific ball placement so no Tigers' hands can get to it. Whoa.
It was great defence. Umpire just suggesting that she was short in a distance, but we can see where the Wildcats are just out of rhythm because both Alicia are outside the circle and then both shooters being caught at the top in the same space.
Riley, turn and shoot. We're doing a lot of work there to get in. I don't know why Riley wasn't comfortable turning and shooting then. Maybe we received it on the wrong foot, possibly, because we know she can.
Yeah, sometimes when she's really been working that high work rate, then she just
needs to settle.
Needs a moment to be able to settle. It's also as she gains confidence, like reality is she's still 17.
As a player, you wouldn't think so, though, hey?
No.
She's such a smart player for her age.
Having watched Riley come through from under 12s, she's always had a lot of confidence, been really coordinated with her height. She's one of those players that you want to go to in a pressure situation. There's been a couple of times where it hasn't come off, but she certainly learned from those over time. And she just continues to build in her experience and her execution.
Cats just lost that possession then, where there were two options. One was riskier than the other.
Yep.
I would have possibly preferred maybe, as a coach, I would have wanted my player to take the safe option, especially when the game's this tight.
It's that challenge in it, isn't it? Because you want them to go for the safe option when they're under pressure.
Yes.
But also for them to see more than one option
have faith
at other
vision.
times.
That's right.
Yeah, when they're under pressure, that's when their vision narrows and they tend to only see one.
Yes. So now we've got the circle opened up. Riley dropping out into the pocket to feed off to Lisa. So now Tigers aren't going to give them an
It's a minute 30 to go. We have the Wildcats on 46. Now the screen's showing 46 to 45 and the scoreboard here is showing 46 to 44. So we're just not quite sure which one's correct at the moment. Fantastic intercept from Halida, just really reading that pass and being able to get in the road. So if the Wildcats can finalise.
Possession. It's just possession now. Oops.
Katie aware that she needed to just keep going, keep the game going because there's not a lot of time left.
Nice, patient and smart play there by Alicia.
With that goal, the Wildcats might just sneak away with this game. So in the last couple of minutes, Tigers just not quite lifting the passes as much as they needed to. They've got one more opportunity here. They'll be ruining that second and third quarter when the scoreline pushed out.
Oh, beautiful. Nice work, Lisa. Good passing.
The Tigers have won this quarter 13-7, which has been an amazing comeback. And as we talked about earlier, just that persistence, regardless of what the scoreline is. You know, at 9 down, it would have been easy to think, no, this game's gone. They've gave themselves an opportunity, brought it back to 1.
That's right. As we said, you know, 8 goals, and then it was 9 in the third quarter. Now we've pulled the difference. Wow.
Fantastic game of netball tonight. QUT Wildcats running out winners, 48 to the Carina Leagues Club Tigers 44. Your thoughts on the Tigers at the end of the match and what they take into next week?
Well, I think they take in the confidence that they can come back. That's something to not be beaten and not back off. I think that is something that they've really worked on today. Cats, they've just got to stay with their consistency.
Yep. So for the Wildcats, they'll be really happy with that win because it will give them more points to hopefully cement that number 2 spot on the ladder.
Right, keep them in the top 4.
With 1 week remaining, the Bull Sharks have been breathing down their necks. So at the end of this round, we see that the Brisbane North Cougars are staying on top 206. They're well in front and they've got a bye next week. So that's the end of their games for this particular competition. QUT Wildcats go to 173. Ipswich Jets just holding onto third with 156 at the moment. And the Bull Sharks have pushed up to 145. Be tough now for the Tigers to, I think, you know, probably impossible. They needed to really win tonight to be able to
keep them in that space.
Yeah, keep them in that space. So it's been such an amazing competition this far. One more fantastic week of round games to happen here next week at the State Netball Centre. Love to have lots of people come down and then we head into finals.
That's right, and these games are the games where you need your audience to cheer you on.
Absolutely.
It's that power of the lift of the cheering and the well done gets you across the line.
Absolutely. We've really enjoyed having everyone's company for these HART Sapphire Series matches. We'd really like to thank all of our sponsors, HART Sports, Legassic Jewelers, who are the sponsors of the Katie Walker MVP Award for the year. A fantastic sapphire, Katie Walker Sapphire. The race for the MVP is hot as well, which is fantastic. Mizuno Footwear, Mount Franklin, Powerade and Victor Sports. It's been a pleasure to have you with us this afternoon, Max.
As always, same with you, Toppy. Thank you.
So we look forward to having everyone join us for the final week of round games here at Queensland State Netball Centre next Saturday.
Next Saturday? Yes.
Yeah. We'll look forward to seeing you then. Thanks for being with us today. We hope you've enjoyed the netball, some fantastic games, and we'll look forward to the last round of the season.